has, you know, planned in store for us. Like, what have they been practicing and stuff, you know? So in that case, again, I am just speculating that we would potentially get a, you know, Joe or Diablo Prio pick here. And so, yeah. But anyway, guys, game number 1 on Infernal Shrines here. We are looking for the first pick. Should be going over to the side of WildHeart Omega. And let's see what their first ban is, right? Let's see what they're prioing. I know I played with some of these players on both sides. They're both players, each of them really good players, individually talented, and have great mechanical skills. Specifically, played against a lot in some of my SL games before I got completely trashed all the way down to Diamond 5 was Lupus and Frosty Wind. Great healer on Frosty Wind, and I saw Lupus practicing his tanks. So, you know, I know that there's something spicy coming on. Valimar with his offlane, I believe, is what I remember with Samuro. So, you know, I'm excited to see what these guys have. Actually, maybe I did lie. I do recognize some of the names on the side of Kryix Tempest, but I don't believe I really played with any of them. So again, I don't want to sound too biased, but you know, I'm sure that both sides, Kryix Tempest has a great map pool and a great mechanical skill. So in the first ban is going to the side of WildHeart Omega. They picked up on Hogger here. Hogger is pretty broken on this map. You know, basically like a pinball machine in the shrine. It's disgusting. It's annoying, but can be countered easily by an auto attacker like a Tychus or a Rainer, which you do see in the meta right now. It's more towards the end of Tychus here, but can be easily negated by a Johanna. Great. All right. So as you guys will know, in seeing a higher elo, you will see a prio ban on the side of Medivh. You know, Medivh is great on these types of maps for going in between lanes and rotating quickly and negating a lot of damage. Medivh in the right hands can be one of the most annoying characters in the game. Basically, if you're a good Medivh, you're a cheater. But you deserve it because you worked hard for being good at Medivh. So, can't really hate you. I gotta hate the game. Can't hate the player. Alright, second man is going to be Lucio. Lucio's really good in the meta, especially with the fact that Infernal Shrines has a lot of walls, which is why you'll see a lot of Diablos played on this map, right? There's a lot of wall stuns, a lot of wall engages. Great ban. It can be really annoying, and I have seen so much value with the high five talent. I honestly love it. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. But you know, it's crazy how good that talent is, you know. And lastly, before the next pick, for the first pick, is going to be Chromie. Chromie's annoying, especially with the amount of vision and the amount of artillery strikes that she can do, right? And completely poke out the objective. Now, let's see if we get maybe a tank prio. So it's looking like already a double support comp with an Uther first pick. Let's see what Frosty Wind follows up. Most likely going to be a Stukov. You know, with his pool, right? The ones that I remember with his Anna, Lucio, Stukov. I know he can play other healers, but I believe his best were those. And it can be really scary with an Uther. Now, let's see how Kryix Tempest is going to counter this. They already know, right? Seeing an Uther first pick as a prio, you already know they're going double support. So they're going to take away the Stukov, and they're going to grab the D.Va prio here. Great pick on both sides. Stukov is completely annoying, but is a good pick to take away from Frosty Wind. So let's see if maybe Anna, or maybe he pulled out something else in his arsenal that it's again been a while. So let's see. I saw them, you know, potentially there could be like a Lily coming out of nowhere because everyone's playing Lily now with a double support. It's super annoying. Or a White Mane, right? White Mane's pretty solid. All right, so you're going to get a Sonya and a Cassia. Perfect. Sonya does so much damage to a D.Va. With the W build, right, it does a crap ton of damage and is excellent on this map. Just like D.Va with their bomb, Sonya's good at clearing with her whirlwind talents, right? And with Valimar on it, again, both sides pretty spicy. And Cassia, I mean, what can you say about Cassia? Super good character right now in the meta, just solid all around. Team fight potential. So they do ban out the Anna, right? They definitely know Frosty Wind's pull here, but let's see what Frosty Wind has. But again, the only reason I'm focusing on him is because what will the healer be, right? Because in a double support comp, a healer, obviously, a utility healer especially, is big, right? Like, a White Mane is super, super annoying, like that I've seen so far. But again, like, obviously there's other healers that are pretty busted. But, you know, also I've started to see, you know, people playing Leo as a main tank with a double support comp, which was completely threw me back, actually. They're not doing it here, obviously, but, you know, I'm just calling that out. It's super weird. All this, you know, all these different picks here and stuff, you know. So definitely see what's going on. All right, so side of Kryix Tempest, let's see what main tank do they go here. Is it going to be Joe? Right, Joe's pretty solid on this map, right, with a level 4 talent that completely spams here. Exactly. So we're going to get Johanna and we're going to get a Sylvanas. Sylvanas is great for a push when you get the objective, and if you get the objective, it is devastating for the enemy team because of her trait ability. But Johanna, my favorite tank, my bread and butter, right? That tank is amazing on this map, especially this map. Tomb of Spider Queen, right? A lot of control points and a lot of minion control, right? Great stuff here. Now, let's see what the last 2 picks are going to be for the side of WildHeart Omega, right? You got your healer pick, and you have another Assassin's Ring, Mephisto, and Oriole. Okay, Oriole, all right. Frosty win, yes sir. And Mephisto's super good, right? A lot of control, a lot of damage is going to be outputted by Mephisto here. And Cassia, great assassins on the side of WildHeart Omega. Now let's see what the last assassin will be for Kryix Tempest here. What will they go? Will they go to auto attacker here? Or are they going to play the Sylvanas as the auto attacker here, right? Or are you going to get a mage, right? What is going to be the picker? A Zeratul. So you're going to be target-wise potentially setting up, most likely you're going to see the Knight of the Nerazim, right? Most likely, but, you know, we could get a throwback Q build Zeratul, right? Both options here are pretty solid. But let's see, you know, see how it plays out here, guys. This is game number 1, and the draft already looks really good, guys. And so support your team, guys. I see a lot of Kryix fan club and stuff. So good luck to both teams, guys. Let's get to the game. Super excited about this one because, again, my favorite map all around. All around. Man. Now, I am curious to see how on the side of Kryix Tempest, how are they going to make this work, right? Like, with his Zeratul, you clearly have to play for the late game, right? I mean, because of his power spikes, right? But with the auto attack build, he's pretty devastating. Even at your, you know, post 10, pretty devastating. Can be very, very annoying. But on the side of WildHeart Omega, with an Uther, you can lock down a Zeratul, right? You can lock down, and you have a lot of stun CC chain on the side of WildHeart Omega here. So let's see how we're doing. Hey, we got one for WildHeart Omega. Great to see. So once the game loads, we are going to introduce both sides here. So while the talent's load, let's go ahead and introduce our teams, guys, for game number 1, Kryix Tempest. We're going to call it for the blue team, the home team here. Johanna is being played by Pridge to Death. Diva being played by Moist. Stukov playing by TT Wolf E. Sylvanas being played by Will to Live. And Zeratul being played by Raver. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Now on the side of WildHeart Omega, you have Uther being played by Lupus. Oriole being played by Frosty Wind. Mephisto being played by Apparition. Sonya being played by Valimar. And Cassia played by Brown Bala. Let's hear it for both teams here. This is going to be a brawl for brawl. I already know it's coming. Let's see how it ends up in mid. You might have a split off. Nope, we're going straight for a 5v5 here in mid. So as you see, both teams are now posturing. Johanna stepping up, and both tanks meet up in the middle to shake hands accordingly. But you get instant stun. But Mephisto immediately goes in and engages with the Oriole crown on, but it's going to go right back on Cassia to get some energies for the Oriole here, because you need the self-sustain battery for the Oriole, and Cassie is a great battery. Lupus is going and looking at Sylvanas here, but Mephisto is going to prio as much damage as he can to the Diva here. It looks like they're going to follow up on the Diva. Moist backs away immediately. Now, does Johanna have the Ensemble trait? No, they both get out, and they're going to reset. Now, they're going to rotate as a team here. They're going to be slowly creeping down, right, on the rotations here, and Reaver has already claimed the bottom XP, so camps will be up in a minute, right? Both teams are most likely going to take their neutral camps, right? So they're going to quickly clear up mid for the side of Kryix Tempest. At this point, it's basically just going rotation for rotation. You need to prioritize as much as you can. Now that the minute marker is up, let's see what both teams do. Are they going to completely fight? Are they going to go straight for soak? Or are they going to start their camp immediately? Looks like Zeratul is heading over to their camp right now. Sonya is looking like she is doing well up top. So again, as we were saying, both teams are starting their camps immediately. Great. The reason why you do this is because it's XP, gives you more lane pressure, and you can have it up on rotation, right? This is the things that you'll see in these higher elo games compared to others where others don't prioritize, because every little advantage counts, right? Sonya does sniff out that the enemy team is going to be rotating back mid, and she's going to go straight back up top to catch what D.Va is soaking. But Valimar, the Sonya player, had lane rotation advantage, so he was looking down to come down, and if there's a fight that breaks out, right, Sonya's there for a 5v4. But obviously that wasn't going to happen. But just in case, right? Great job. So on the side of Kryix Tempest, they're going to be looking at either they're focusing him down, but can they get anything? No. Lupus does get away and immediately healed back up. So that's the thing about this double support comp, right? Like, you can poke and poke and poke, but see, that's what they thrive off, right? They thrive off these engages. They thrive off these brawls. Like, they want to take these fights. They need to really fight for this right here. They immediately go for the Zeratul here. Zeratul is getting low, but Stukov immediately silences the back line, but Lupus, or Rossi Win completely stuns out Stukov, and they win. See, WildHeart Omega here, with the amount of CC they have down bottom, they completely negated the Stukov. But here's the thing about that comp, right? For the side of Kryix Tempest, Stukov is going to be a complete devastator, right? If that silence stays way too long, then on the side of WildHeart Omega, you're going to have problems, right? But if you prioritize getting the Stukov off of his silence, it basically negates the fight. But it depends on how long they hold it. So Apparition's going to go in, basically poking them down. Now, do they have tap here? You can take a tap before. No, they're just going to back immediately. But here again, see, as we were saying, bruisers were prioritized immediately. Great timing on the side of WildHeart Omega. Now, you're going to have to put some pressure on the top lane, potentially waste time, which could give them a complete advantage if you're on the side of WildHeart Omega, because now you have the advantage with that lane pressure. D.Va either A, clears it, or B, comes to the objective to fight. But Valimar's going to completely go ahead and start it. It's going to start doing Sonya things. Excuse me. So it looks like on the side of Kryix Tempest, they're going to immediately go in. They don't care about the bruisers. It's going to be one of those things where you snooze, you lose. We just got to prio, and we just have to take the punishment for that. Lupus is sitting here poking the Johanna down. Johanna is low, but it's going to be healed back up passively by the Stukov here. Lupus is stepping up to stun the D.Va, but nothing happens here. But now you see the Mephisto coming in, just kind of poking in, but looks like they're getting it, right? Looks like a WildHeart Omega is going to claim the first objective, which is going to be an Arcane Punisher, and that is good for the side. But for Kryix Tempest, they understand that their comp is late game, as you can see what the Zeratul is doing, right? Take advantage elsewhere, right? Get value elsewhere. D.Va clearing top. You got a little bit of value, but that could have been from the Sonya earlier that we missed. But again, you have to match this. You can't let the Zeratul get soaked for free. So as you're going to see an Arcane Punisher ripping through. The best thing that you're most likely going to get here is going to be the front wall gate. It's pretty good, especially 4 minutes in. Not bad. Potentially you could get more if you get some good picks, but Stukov is getting chunked immediately healed back up. But that's the problem with Stukov. Why I hate Stukov when he's on the enemy team is because Mephisto instantly gets the level 1 talent for reactive ballistospores whenever the Stukov gets low. Zeratul goes in, Q's in, and leaves. So we are going to get a Q build Zeratul, right? Your wormhole, go in, go out. The old classic Q build here. Which makes sense, because if you do go your auto attack build, you're going to get punished. You need to go in, do big damage, and leave. Or you do big damage over and over and over. So both teams, again, are on the neutral camp, staying in soak. Like, look, you're really not that far, even though on the side of a WildHeart Omega, they won the objective. They got the front gate, but they're really not that far behind, because, again, both teams on this, our team, Kryix Tempest, understood that we just need to soak. We just need to play for the late game. We're going to take a little bit of a beating, but we'll be okay, right, in the late game here. D.Va just letting the lane crash into her, gets all the XP. But hey, this is the thing about having lane prio advantage. If you force a 5v4 her or 5v3, they may recognize it 5v4, right? So they're going in, they're gonna just chunk down the Sylvanas. Sylvanas is getting low, but nothing comes of it. But again, this poke damage will eventually overpower a team in the late game by consistently poking and poking and poking. You run out of mana. Now, looks like Zeratul is gonna just poke out Valimar here to let D.Va negate some of the XP. D.Va is looking for the Sonya, but Sonya took the safe route, right, to make sure that she did not miss out on any soak up top. Again, guys, very close match. There is no deaths yet, but these little small mechanics that you guys are seeing them do all lead up to taking advantage of each team, but each team is negating it by doing the exact same thing and playing their comp. So again, now you have Zeratul pressuring mid, and Valimar is having to clear top. Now, can he get some of the XP in time while the enemy team is down bottom? But if you're on the side of WildHeart Omega and you're on a double support comp, you can easily start taking this and you can fight for this. But here's the problem. If Stukov is in the choke holding, right, is holding and silence is in, you're going to have some problems. But they don't do anything, they just give it away. 10s for both sides have been selected. Let's take a look at the 10 talents here, right? So we have on the side of Kryix Tempest, we have Blessed Shield, pretty standard. You have your micro missiles, massive shove, Oh, they're going to immediately... Sonya's going to immediately leap in, but misses completely, and Mephisto is the target here. Mephisto might be low and completely missed, but Blessed Shield hits, and Stukov shoves away the Sonya, but can they get anybody? No, Zeratul drops to Frosty Wind here, but Aberration is very low here. Aberration, can he get out? Yes, he can. That is a power double support here, and the Zeratul got completely punished, went in, and got stuck in there. As you guys saw, Void Prison was not dropped yet, but on the side of Kryix Tempest, you had your Johanna all try locking down the Mephisto whenever he went in and got completely punished, right? Completely punished, but it was worth a shot, right? Now you have the enemy team does not really have their ults, and if you're on the side of Kryix Tempest, what are you going to do, right? You're going to poke out D.Va, but now you can start taking advantage of the well here, right? WildHeart Omega is going to get the well, drop it completely, and it looks like on the side of Kryix Tempest, they're just going to soak again. All right, so since we have a Q build Zeratul, you have to play around the level 16, right? Because that is when you get your big power spike here. But let's see what happens here, right? Alts will be up for both teams, respectively. Lupus with Divine Storm is going to be low until 20 seconds. They have 20 seconds of time. Let's see what they do. So it looks like Kryix Tempest is going to completely go in and try getting some minions advantage here. The Valimar is deciding, do I need to match a Zeratul or do we force this 5v4 and get a Mortar Punisher here? Looks like he is deciding. Let's just take the objective, and Zeratul is coming up. So it looks like we are going to get another 5v5. Frosty Wind completely pushes away the Johanna, but Stukov instantly lands a silence, but Lupus and the Mephisto get low, but Zeratul gets out, and Lupus hit the Divine Storm on the Zeratul, but misses, and Sonya gets completely punished, gets hit by the D.Va Bomb, gets hit by the Sylvanas, but can Mephisto get anybody? No, there's nothing left. It's now a 5v4 here. Great look at the side of Kryix Tempest here, right? They completely caught out. They thought they had the Zeratul, but nothing happened from it. He beat out and completely killed the Sonya here. Now Lupus is getting the next target here. Mephisto might be actually a target here. Nobody gets a great poke damage, and Lupus is holding down the choke here. Now Void Prison does come out. Is your target going to be Uther, or is you going to look at the Cassie here? But no, WildHeart is in a tough situation here. Just needs to kind of get the tap in, relook, right? You have Valimar back up, and it's actually going to just go to the side of Kryix Tempest here, which is great. Great comeback, 3-16. These are fights that you really want to win. Excellent stuff. Now, you can look aggressive as a Johanna here. If you go to the side here, potentially, if it's worth, but it might not be because Uther, but Zeratul might be looking for it, right? He's getting the health globe. He's kind of looking and seeing who gets put in, but no, they're just going to take the gate for free, and this is what I was talking about with the Sylvanas, right? With the trait here, you do a lot of damage to the enemy team. This should be a fort, right? Because Sylvanas trait has actually just went down, as you saw the action bar. But again, look, the enemy team for WildHeart Omega is now backing off. They understand we just got to back up here. We don't need to engage. Johanna has her ult, and they're just going to back away. The first fort goes to the side of Kryix Tempest for taking it. Now, this is massive. If you get the keep wall, they're playing completely passive here. They understand they have to back up, but this is big, right? This is a second objective, and looks like Uther is going to get silenced and rooted here, but can they do anything? No, Oriole completely negates it with her Crystal Aegis and gets Lupus out. Great stuff, but can they fight over their bruiser camp? Looks like it might be a little too greedy on the side of Kryix Tempest, and they realize that we got to back up, and Valimar is going to go right on the Johanna here and start poking. As you guys saw, though, Johanna was soaking the bot lane and was getting the double soak here, right? Matching the D.Va, I believe that went away. Now they're going to take the side of WildHeart Omega. They're going to start taking their camp, and they are going to get it because they had the advantage. But it looks like they're trying to push fire. Lupus goes in, Divine Storms, but Mephisto drops his ult. And can they get anyone? D.Va doesn't have bomb yet, and this could be big. But Zeratul hits the back line. But no, Zeratul doesn't drop it for Will to Live to hit his Sylvanas arrow. Now, can they get anyone? Because Mephisto does a lot of damage to the choke, but no, Stukov completely negates a lot of it. This is scary for both sides. Mephisto is going right back in. This is what's scary about Mephisto, because he can do a lot of damage, a lot of resets, but can they get anyone? No, but they do get the D.Va bomb here, or D.Va neck here. Can they do anything else? Mephisto's going right back in, but Stukov gets a huge silence. They can't do anything. This is huge. Both sides are going at it, and still play for play mechanics are showing here. Both sides lived. Both sides used ults appropriately, but couldn't punish anyone. Zeratul's going to go in, but can he get anybody? Can Lupus catch? No, Lupus can't, but Lupus does see the Stukov, but it is a little scary. They're going to back up. Sonya's going to back up because he had the root on him from Stukov and didn't know if the engage was coming. Great stuff for both sides, but now you get a free clear. You get your mana back up, and you're looking good if you're on the side of Kryix Tempest, right? You got out alive. You're now in the lane soaking, right? You're probably going to save this bruiser camp for the next objective, which is probably going to be coming up in the next 45 seconds here. And now look, free clear for both sides. Now, if you're on the side of WildHeart Omega, are you going to look for theirs, right? Or are you going to say, are you going to wait for the 16 fight, right? Probably go for the 16 fight. You don't want to overcommit for the pre-16 because you're really not that far, right? Again, this is some ideas and opinions being thrown out. I would assume that they're going to wait for the 16 fight, but I could be proven wrong. But they're going to completely punish the Johanna, completely gets annihilated, gets Oriole chain stun with a Uther stun followed up by a Mephisto W. Crazy damage on the Johanna, didn't see it coming. And then it completely eliminated. So now they're going to take the camp for free and get some back that comeback XP. So they're now going to equally be 16. They're going to take the camp and crazy damage. These fights are nuts. First or third kill now on the side of WildHeart Omega. Great stuff here. So now that you have Prio in mid, right? You have your tap here. You need to prioritize this lane and make sure that if you're on the side of WildHeart Omega, you do not give this lane. And this is going to be a frozen strike. Now they're going to completely get this Tucon. They're going to catch the steal on it, and they completely annihilate her from the top ropes like John Cena. Sonya is insane. Valimar comes out of nowhere, catches the Sylvanas. This is huge, right? That you want this if you're on the side of WildHeart Omega. You now get to have this frozen shrine for let's see, for the next 22-ish seconds for free, plus rotation time. So you're looking at 27, 28 seconds. You're just giving this completely, right? You should start this immediately. You're looking for the Cassie, but Cassie gets out safely, and you start it up immediately. This is huge. This is great on the side of WildHeart Omega. And if you're on the side of Kryix Tempest, that is frustrating because you thought you were safe in your fort. But can D.Va push them away? What are they looking at here, right? They're going to back up, play it kind of safe. They're going to have Sonya do her thing here. And Oriole was looking for a cheeky little stun there, but doesn't. Zeratul comes in, but can they punish? Zeratul instantly punished because Sonya and Uther combo stepped up melee, and looks like Raver is immediately deleted back into the Nexus, but they're going to try catching the Johanna here with the Cassie ult, but no, Stukov misses his ult, thinking that Cassie was going to step up, but again, this is frightening. This was completely frightening here if you're on the side of Kryix Tempest, right? These combos here that you're seeing are detrimental. Now, if you're on the side of Kryix Tempest, they're potentially trying to look for a bottom engage here, right? Maybe, but no, they need the back. Potentially they're looking, but as you see, the enemy team is rotating to try cutting them off, right? You can force this fight because look, you have this going to a keep, and this is huge. If you catch the steps, Stukov is immediately dead, but can they get the Johanna? They do, and they're going to stun him out with the Mephisto W on him and completely dead. Nice space out by Lupus, as you guys just saw with Benediction. That is exactly what you need to do as an Uther. You space out your E's. You don't spam it like you see a lot of players do. You space them out every 2 seconds on the double stun here. This is huge. The CC chain is amazing on the side of WildHeart Omega here, and that's the power of the double support combo with an Uther. And as you guys see with an Oreo, because the chain stun here, now you're gonna have a Mephisto poke, and you get the gate, the keep gate. Great stuff. You got kills, you got keep gate, and you're potentially looking at a D.Va trying to force out the D.Va bomb here, but no, the mid keep is low. Can they get it down? But Zeratul comes out and comes back in, or comes in, comes back out, excuse me. Sonya is potentially going to come up to help the team because, again, you can save this for your next objective here. If I'm moving a little bit too fast for the camera, guys, sorry. Trying to get you right back to the action here. But they are going to poke out mid. This should be free. But D.Va is trying to negate the damage, and Frosty Wind is going to heal up right back up Apparition. They should be able to secure this, and they should be able to get out safely. But, again, this is a pre-20 fight that on the side of Kryix Tempest you're going to want, and you don't want to give the advantage over to WildHeart Omega because Bridge to Death is looking for potentially for a Johanna Blessed Shield, but no, Reaver is looking for a Void Prison here, but it immediately goes on to Oriole here, but instantly stunned, should be completely negated here, and Zeratul is playing with fire, and all he did was just put gasoline on it and just blew himself up, because that is what happens with the chain stun. If you're on the side of WildHeart Omega, you put any pressure for any squishies, you're going to get chain stun immediately, you're going to get Sonya leap, you're just gonna die if you're the target here. Great CC if you're on the side of WildHeart Omega, but what can you do? Right when you get the 20 here, can we get a nice Void Prison set up with a silence here and get some nice Blessed Shield combos here? You need to look for your 20 engage here once Zeratul is up. Maybe fight on point. These are the fights that you need to be taking. They're gonna now prio bottom lane because the next objective is bottom. Mephisto taking Mimic. Detrimental in team fights. It is scary, and you're gonna see a nice typical meta Mephisto build. I mean, I have seen the Q build, and my opinion, I must suck at it, but I don't really like it. I love this build right here. It does a lot of damage and a lot of resets for the Mephisto, especially with Mimic, right? So now they're going to start poking out and keep the bottom keep gate here. This is huge, right? Now you got a mid keep, and now you start poking for free. This is great damage because if you win the objective at the bottom lane for the side of WildHeart Omega, you don't really have to deal with a big portion of the gate, right? You just do a lot of damage here, and Zeratul's looking to go in pre-20 here. Needs to be careful here because, again, the same thing can happen, but the Unstoppable comes out for the Johanna to negate the stun here for no stain CC, and the Mephisto is just poking down the gate wall. But will to live, the Sylvanas saw where the Sonya was. Where else would a Sonya be? Either in the bush or in a choke point, looking for a great leap opportunity. But now Valimar is going to get out and protect his keep here, right? You got 2 katas coming, potentially 3. Nope, just 2. All right, and now you're going to get your neutral camp in mid, hold that level 20 lead. But there on the side of Kryix Tempest, this is the fight that you need to win. You cannot lose this fight. This is a mortar, it's an arcane punisher, excuse me, and this is pretty big for PvP. Now they are going to look aggressive. They're going to see if there is someone soloing on the side of WildHeart Omega. They didn't see this air tool here. This could be big. They could completely punish. They are hiding. Oh, great. The W didn't scout him out, but are they going to catch her on rotation here? No, he goes the safe way. Look at that opportunity. But if you are going to hold, wouldn't you hold here? Because the safest path, obviously, be here. And Valimar didn't know that, hey, they're not showing on the map here, but they're not engaging me. So where could they be, right? They're probably looking at me, or they're holding somewhere else trying to get 20. Great map sense by the side of WildHeart Omega. That is insane here. Now that you have your 20s here, you have the Indestructible, which is pretty good for Drana because they are a stun comp here with the side of Shadow Mending for quick heals. And Apparition is going to throw in, is going to cast the D.Va here, but can D.Va drop the bomb? No, D.Va does drop the bomb, and that's pretty big for the side of WildHeart Omega for getting rid of that. But they do get a lot of damage on top of the creeps here, or the minions here. But it is 30 to 15 here on the side to WildHeart Omega. They're going to go in. Now, Divine Storm is probably going to come out here. Excellent. It does. Now, Zeratul is probably looking for a Void Prison, but they completely missed because Blessed Shield just came out, and here comes the VP. This is where the fight needs to happen here. Is Raver going to get a lot of damage on the Mephisto here? No, he is maybe. No, Cassia completely fights back here. They need to get back in if you're on the side of WildHeart Omega. Sonya is now poking in. Needs to start taking these creeps away from the side of Kryix Tempest. It's going to be a very close rate. 33, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. And it goes to WildHeart Omega. Great, but you need to fight this at this point, right? Or you're going to defend, lose a keep here, but no one can die here if you're not going to do anything. Great slows by both sides here. Nobody died here. Again, this comes down to the mechanics and great stuff on the Stukov here, silencing and CCing out the enemy team. But does he get caught here? Can Sonya do anything here? No. Sonya is going to cast the D.Va and do some poke damage because he followed up by Lupus for a nice chain stun with Uther. You're going to obviously secure this keep. Can you get more? Zeratul gets completely caught out and completely obliterated by a nice CC chain, and D.Va might be next. Is D.Va next? No. That was insane. Zeratul, the wormhole did not pay off that 1.5 second wait time that you have, which is crucial. Now, Johanna is next, but it really doesn't matter. But they're going to look for the Stukov here because Stukov is completely caught up, and you're going to have a D.Va bomb instantly caught, but Sylvanas is dead, and so is Stukov. This should be game number 1 going to the side of WildHeart Omega. Great stun chain CC here. Excellent. The all-around mechanics, and you're going to see a Johanna Blessed Shield, but it shouldn't matter. This is huge. They went straight past the tanks. They went straight for the squishies. That was insane. Insane stun comp for the side of WildHeart Omega. GG. First game going to WildHeart Omega. Now, as I've always say about my other cast, can we get a game number 3? We got one last night, but can we get one tonight? That game was nutty. Was nutty. Great stuff. All right, let's look at... Appreciate the hydrate. I'll do it in a second. Winner goes to red team here. And we're going to go first right here. Follow, stop fighting the Joe and hit the... Great fights, guys, overall. Let me go ahead and get my quick hydrate here that was claimed. But overall, great team fights if you're on the side of WildHeart Omega, right? When you're looking at the amount of damage that you see from the Mephisto, right? There was so much CC follow-up. Mephisto was set up perfectly, like an alley-oop dunk. You can't get it any nicer. You have 1, you have 2, you have 3 hard CCs, or 3 characters, I should say, with very hard CC, followed up by Mephisto ult, so that makes it 4 hard CC. That's great to have set up, and Cassia and Mephisto just completely clear out. Unfortunately, the Zeratul did not pay off because if Zeratul goes in, completely just gets punished for it, right? Completely just gets punished for it when he goes in, because that wormhole talent is a little rough, right? Especially whenever you're looking for the wormhole value, right? When you're looking for the wormhole value, But again, you have Lupus just going in with the Uther, just completely stunning you, a Benediction stun, and immediately Divine Storm follow. That's 3 stuns for one character, and everyone else just dies on you. Whoever the target is, or whoever Lupus or Sonya catches, it's over, right? You're just dead. That is why you saw the Johanna pick Indestructible to, if she gets caught, you have Indestructible to save you. Their comp completely devastated. And you see the power of double support, right? So let's see what map number 2 is, right? Let's see if we get another double support. Let's see if they respect ban it, right? Let's see the side of WildHeart. So we're going to get a Towers of Doom game, followed by Bridge to Death. We're going to join the lobby here. All right. Make sure I get the... So blue team. So now red team. Red team pick Towers of Doom. Typical NA map. Now let's see if the side of WildHeart Omega. Let's see if they take game number 2. Great stuff again by both sides. It really came down to those tiny micro mechanic fights, right? Like your big team fights here, you're seeing a lot of great mechanics being shown. You saw Stukov really holding off as a single support, completely CCing and silencing the enemy team and doing the best that he can. But it's really hard because as soon as the Uther or Sonya catches one, or even the Oriole chain stun, as soon as you catch one person, right? Especially if you're a squishy, there's really nothing you can do. Like you're gonna need a cleanse for that. And Stukov didn't have a cleanse, and again, it completely negated it. Talking makes you just gotta support the hydrate, homie. Appreciate it, man. And I'll do another one because I know this game. Cast it ready. Because I know this next game is gonna be pretty insane. Towers of Doom is always an insane map. Let's see what the strat is here, right? You can get a lot of different comps here, right? You get TLV, you can get, I mean, if you're gonna do inhabit their comp, like, again, we're just throwing out ideas here. You could go again with your basic double healer comp, which you are seeing again in the meta right now. Uther is, as you just saw, is devastating. Yeah, so looking at it from let's say an analytical perspective, right? Zeratul, I think potentially the idea was to look for and engage in the backline on the Mephisto, or to get the Q value because they're going to be clumped. But the counter argument to that is if you're queuing in the middle of a team and they have a hard stun like a Uther to catch you and not like a skill stun, right? A point to click stun that Uther had versus like an Oriole whip stun, it's hard, right? And I feel like that potentially, again, might have been the misplay, or was a misplay. They're sticking to their draft. They're potentially trying to do avoid prison into a Stukov silence, into as much DPS as you can onto the void prison target. But again, this is me and my opinion of what I was thinking there, right? So there might be something different from what on the side of Kryix Tempest was thinking, right? So first ban is going to be TLV. TLV is super annoying if you're on the side of any team playing TLV, especially on this map, right? Your team can go straight strong 4-man push in bottom. Now you have mid and top. So WildHeart Omega is going to ban out their own Uther, but they also understand that they don't want to give the first pick over to Kryix Tempest. You don't want to give that here. Let's see what the next ban is going to be. So now we're probably going to look for a more traditional, maybe a traditional comp here for WildHeart Omega, or we're just going to get a triple bruiser and just absolutely just see so much devastation because bruisers do as much damage as assassins, like what's the difference at this point? But now we're going to get, again, a Medivh ban. You do not want to see Medivh in these games because someone is probably a god Medivh and completely negates damage, can like excellent rotation for maps, and Medivh is just a nightmare. Again, as I was saying, in the right hands is a complete nightmare, right? And now we're gonna get a Chromie. Chromie again, great stuns and great stuns and great stall is what I'm trying to say. Stall out because you can sit even further back. Now, let's see, do we prioritize a tank? Do we prioritize an assassin here? Or do we go for the off lane like Sonya? I've been seeing a lot of Sonya first picks it now lately. Sonya's looking like she's becoming a first pick prio for some of these teams, which is interesting, but she does a lot of damage because that W build is so strong. You can counter her, but it's really hard, right? So we're going to get a Cassia. Okay, so we're going for the Assassin. Cassia is a great first pick and can do a lot of damage and can do a lot of setup and do a lot of damage with her Lightning Ball. Now, let's see what you do for the side of WildHeart Omega. Do we get an ETC? Do we get a Mal'Ganis? Do we get, because I saw Lupus playing Mal'Ganis, and we don't get to see Mal'Ganis a lot, but we can get a Joe to completely negate the Cassia, right? Or do we get a healer and an assassin and wait for the tank? So we're going to get a Stukov by Frosty Wind, one of his highlighted healers, excellent heals, and we're going to get the Falstad. Falstad is pretty good in the right now after his, I believe he got hot fixed already, but still great character, great macro character, and good solo target, single target damage if you go that W build. Stacks up over time. So whoever the solo laner is, and potentially this is going to be a 4-man Falstad. It's going to float mid and prioritize top or bottom because he has fly to help out Valimar here for easy ganks, or help out the team in all types of way. And now we're going to get an Abathur. So what is going to be the clone target here, if that's what they're going? So now you're going to get an ETC Mosh Pit, and you're going to get Abathur. So let's see if they ban out maybe Illidan, maybe Genji, maybe the Zeratul. Let's see what the target ban is. Oh, and I was referring to Johanna. Sorry if you couldn't understand me on that one. But, let's see what you're going to be banning, right? You have another assassin choice, but who can be the pick? Is it Greymane? Oh, it's going to be Lucio. Okay, they're going to ban out the Lucio. Interesting. So they might know something about the comp for the side of Kryix Tempest with a healer like Lucio, which gives you great speed engage, great sustained healing, and with that level 10 talent, you can either get burst heals or you can get a nice unstoppable, because Abathur is also going to be healing as well. So it's kind of like a support in main heal, right? But not like an Uther quick stun. So they're going to ban out the Hogger, which is completely disgusting on this map. But if you're on the side of WildHeart Omega, we get a Diablo here, but ETC on the right hands can counter a good Diablo here. So we're going to Li Ming for the Mosh, and we are going to get a Diablo, because Diablo does do a lot of damage on the Shrine fight, or on the tower fights here. So let's see what we have going on here, right? Let's see what they're going to pick, right, for the side of Kryix Tempest. What is going to be is it going to be Greymane? Is it going to be Illidan? Is it going to be Genji? But Diablo counters a lot of those, but it might be Illidan. Maybe the Haka? Or are they going to clone the Cassia? They can do a hyper carry, kind of like a hyper carry Cassia. Erizine. Okay, so we are going to be looking potentially, right, at the Cassia. Cassia is pretty good with a hat on her, and with the amount of CC you have here, you have a power slide, you have a Dahaka tongue, and most likely going to have a Karazim 7-sided strike here. So Lupus, yes, Lupus is on a real team. Huh? A Tyrael? Hey, I'm not hating on it. I love a good Tyrael here, but that was unexpected. Holy crap. That is insane to counter the Abathur potential clone with a double Cassia, right? You're gonna have a Saint when things get way too rough, or Judgment. Let's hope for Judgment, but realistically, you're more than likely gonna get a Saint to negate a 7-sided strike, right? And in the right hands, Tyrael is completely disgusting, completely scary. So great pick. That was a complete curveball for me, right? Because you don't get to see that stuff, but I'm excited to see, and this is why I love watching competitive games, because they're different tactics, right? You have good wave clear for the Falstad, as we're seeing here, right? Falstad can float wherever he goes. Valimar is potentially, he can clear not as fast as other probably offlaners, but still not too bad here. And having the Tyrael to boost the minions to negate the Dahaka. So let's go ahead and introduce the teams. Hopefully not for the last time, but on the side of Kryix Tempest, we're gonna have ETC on Bridge to Death here. We're gonna have Dahaka being played by Moist, Karazim being played by TT Wolfie, Abathur being played by Will to Live, and Cassia on Raybar being played by Raybar. Now on the side of WildHeart Omega, Diablo is being played by Lupus, Li Ming being played by Apparition, Stukov played by Frosty Wind, Falstad being played by Brown Bala, and Tyrael by Valimar. Let's get it. Let's see how this game plays out. There's a lot of self-sustain on the side of WildHeart Omega, right? You have Devil's Due with Ethereal, with its Stukov, right? You're gonna have a lot of straight up good heals because they both technically have double support in a sense, right? But now you have triple support for the Diablo. So you're gonna instantly queue in. Does the Stukov completely silence? No, but doesn't hit the root there. But does silence, but it was already too late because the root or the power slide already came out. Now they're gonna look for the rotation here. Abathur is completely annoying when you're rotating. You're gonna need complete vision, which is great when you have an Abathur comp. Diablo is going to be searching for souls here, has to be careful, and the ETC has to be careful. But look at that W, completely pushes away Lupus. And see, this is the thing about a good ETC player. You can negate a great Diablo engage by Wing. Like, you see it a lot when Diablo goes for a potential APOC combo. All you have to do if you're close to that Diablo is press your W key and completely negate the CC chain that could be devastating for the enemy team here, right? But now we're going to start on the camp. Again, 1 minute, right? This is what you're seeing on a lot of maps, and they have vision. They know they're taking it. But Brace of Death knows, and they need to hurry up and start taking airs, because if they take on the side of WildHeart Omega, if they start taking it quicker, which they are, they could potentially look to engage Kryix Tempest, because they know that they are down on numbers here with an Abathur comp here. But no, they're just going to give it up. They're potentially looking for the Dahaka. Dahaka is putting himself on a wall potentially, but I think Moist does smell it out, right? Completely gets away, he's fine. And now you're going to see Falstad, as we were saying, sit in mid, continuously soaking, looking to either fly bottom or to fly top, and Tyrael holding his own. But that's the other side of having a Abathur, right? Abathur can help you miss the soak that you're going to miss, because Tyrael is freezing that lane up there. Is completely just, you know, letting it crash, letting the minions die off. So now you have level 4 talents here. Silence does come out, and you see a silence focused on the Sapper here to not let it run into the fort here. Great stuff. Great thing by Stukov here. And you do have basically almost a level lead. Falstad might be the target here, but smells it out, completely gets away, takes some trade damage here. Not too bad. It's all right. But Falstad just playing safe here, just needs to completely back up, right? And now you're going to have the entire team on the side of WildHeart Omega looking, except for Tyrael top with the Dahaka here, but can they do anything here, right? You need to play a little safe if you're on the side of Kryix Tempest, because you only have 3 versus 4 here, and ETC gets pushed on the wall, but does the W get up? No, but Silence is followed up, and ETC should slide out immediately. Yes, he does. But see, that's what's scary about that comp with Frosty Win on Stukov, because you, in the late game, you're going to get rooted. You're going to get rooted, and whoever that target is going to get blown up. Let's see on the side of Kryix Tempest, how are they going to respond to that? Because no matter who you catch, because ETC is one of the squishiest tanks you can have. It has great utility, but it's a very, very squishy tank, right? So now we just got to see what the combo is in the late game. Now you're going to have a trade for top to bottom, and or top to the other side. Tyrael is trying to focus and push him off, because again, you want to take advantage of that the numbers advantage, right? And Falstad's going to fly bottom because they know they're having a hard time here. Tyrael's going to back off most likely. Just keep poking out, because what is the Hawk going to do, right? Nope, he's going to soak mid, and now the fight's going to go down bottom. And on the side of Kryix Tempest, they just need to give it, right? This is the part of having an Abathur comp. You just got to play patient. Patient does reward itself in the end, but no, now it's going to be a 4v4 right now. Tyrael is going to be late, but they do push him out. Abathur is now, is where you get so much advantage of Abathur, because Falstad already uses fly here and potentially can start double soaking top, but they do stop it with a silence and a W from the Diablo. But Dahaka is getting low, but completely uses this trait, but it takes so much damage here. Can they get a silence on the wall? And they do, and there is a W by the ETC, as we were calling out. This is how you can negate a Diablo, right? By just Wing. Valimar does go in and completely gets away scot-free for going in like that. But again, you still have the bottom template here, right? And you are bottom shrine here. But as Abathur, you can keep soaking as you see mid, but there's a silence on the Stukov into the Cassie here, but ETC does go in and completely gets punished because he committed, and the Apparition picks up Calamity. Oh, doesn't, excuse me, picks up Seeker and completely blows up. And again, you're most likely not seeing the Calamity here because you have great setup where you can prioritize a lot of damage with the Seeker here, right? With that Q build, which you're probably going to see at level 16, magic missiles, right? Additional Qs is going to do a lot of damage. It's just starting the camp here to get that prio advantage, because again, you can start potentially looking at the side of Kryix Tempest if you have that advantage, right? And keep pushing in. And you're going to have Falstad and Tyrael back to where they are. They're going to soak mid and top. And Valimar is just holding the lane back, as you can see, right? Just freezing it, holding at the gate, completely negating XP. But Abathur potentially will just come in, scoop some XP. But again, it's tough. If you're on the side of Kryix Tempest, right? It's tough. You need to get that value out of Abathur. So let's see what happens here. Are they gonna get the fort down here? No, they're just gonna get it pushed out. They're not gonna put any pressure just yet. Dahaka is showing mid and is now gonna rotate back up top. But again, he is a global hero here. But you have a Stukov down bottom. If it's gonna start pushing in, all you gotta do to negate it is just silence it. ETC should be able to reach you, right? Frosty Wind is just gonna silence it, but they probably don't need to, right? Because look, it's right in the front, and Li Ming can just poke it out immediately. And look, if you see the W build, poke build, what Devils do, you're seeing a lot of self-sustain on the side of the Diablo here. Great choice, because you don't really need to go in, right? You don't really need to go in until you need to, so you're probably going to see the Fire Breath, the Fire Breath talent here. And ETC was looking the slow rotation here, but that's the point of Abathur, right? Where Abathur can do with his mind, can slow you here, right? You have Mule, you have your hat, your typical standard build when you want to go on top of someone just like a Cassia, right? Give the Cassia attack speed and movement speed later down the road. Falstad is poking out bushes, wondering where the enemy team is, and now they're just going to soak bottom here. This should be a trade for trade, but let's see how they do it, right? Because you have the Abathur that is able to take theirs, but no, they have an 8 to 10 advantage here, and let's see. You have, you have an APOC, you have a Wave of Force, and great stop by Apparition onto the bridge to death here for the ETC power slide. He completely negates it, but can Lupus do anything here? W is down now. Kerosene does go in and looking for a complete stun, but nothing happens. Just a nice peel, just a nice bait, and now they're going to prio top here. You may have to give it because both sides are 10, and you do get a Sanctification and Gust combo. Valimar is committing to it, and Brown Bala is poking, but can the Abathur keep poking him, right? And they do. They're going to poke off Valimar. They're going to try, but again, if you're on the side of WildHeart Omega, you should look to engage here. You have your 10 advantage here. You can look for a nice APOC combo stun. You can potentially even look at the ETC, right? With a Stukov follow. Lupus might go around for a off the wall here. ETC's on a wall here, but do they get a sound here? Frosty Wind does get it. No, he doesn't. Can they punish the ETC? No, they don't. They do not. And Doc is still poking with the Abathur. Abathur's in mid, sitting mid, potentially could be holding down bottom, but no, they're going to give it now. No, they don't. They completely blind him, and they're trying to get Abathur and Dahaka potentially to soak to get to that 10 here. Can they do it? They're going to APOC combo the Kerosene here. Was that the idea? Is that the play here? Is that enough? It isn't. They got out, but ETC might be the target here, but completely blocked by the Wave of Force here, and they do get another. They get two. Great Wave of Force to stop the power slide, but I think that was more towards the Stukov to get the damage, and it was just collateral damage. But either way, looked good. Looked sexy as hell. That's what you want to see with combos like that. Very good on the side of WildHeart Omega. Great follow-ups. You got a nice silence, a nice slow. Kerosene was the target here because he is very agile, right? Very good here. So now we're going to be pushing in bottom. Can we get a fort here, right? You have two on rotation time here. Not a fort, the fort wall here. They do. They start taking out the first side of the wall. So structure damage going over. And Stukov is going to slow down the Cassie here. And they are engaging. ETC is looking for potentially Frosty Wind, but potentially getting baited because Lupus, he trusts his tank. He knows that he doesn't need to do anything. And potentially he was also looking to shove him into the wall here if he did get past the Diablo here. But great stuff by the tank for protecting his healer. That is the type of synergy you need. As I like to say, if I trust my healer, but they're going to start going into the ETC. Great punish and Bala, but is there going to be a Mosh? No, because it was too dangerous. You're at the fort wall, slides out, and didn't hit the two, and Li Ming would have punished you. But that is so much damage. There's so much damage coming out by the Li Ming going into the ETC, right? That is the power of being able to trust your setup here and utilizing Seeker and Triumvirate, spamming away. And you do get a lot of spams in here only because of the fact that Li Ming picked that talent. But he's going to get a raw silence combo. Is going to be completely negated. Cassia instantly blown up because that is what happens when you have an APOC combo with the Stukov brute silence into an immediate blow up by the Li Ming. Completely blown back into the Nexus. See it there. Cassie is gone, and that is bad. But oh wow, look at that power slide. But there's nothing there. There's nothing there to mosh, only because of the fact that you have no damage. And now you're going to get the shots if you're on the side of WildHeart Omega. That is brutal. Brutal, right? You needed Cassie to live, but Diablo saw the opportunity and took advantage of it. Great stuff if you're on the side of WildHeart Omega. But you still, like I said on Towers of Doom, as I always said, the best thing about this map is you can win no matter how many points you are, no matter how down you are. Now, you need to play for 13 here. Let's see. Can Abathur and Dahaka soak it back up? Can they defend bottom here, right? How are we looking here? Are we going to have the opportunity to see a nice even talent tier fight? But if you're on the side of WildHeart Omega, you don't want that to happen. You want to keep that advantage here. And Lupus is potentially looking for another engage, but potentially just needs your APOC, right? And they know that the APOC is down. But on the side of Kryix Tempest, you're just playing a little passive here. You don't, but he gets pulled into the wall still, but no follow-up by the Stukov here. Now, what is the plan? Are you just gonna get you're gonna wait 5 seconds here and 13 and Gust potentially the fall stat is floating down. Are they looking? There's a potential opportunity, but no, they don't. Now, on the side of WildHeart Omega, do they sniff it out? This can be crazy. This can be completely devastating to the team, but there is no follow-up yet. Here comes the root silence here. ETC is the next target, completely blown up. As we were calling the combos here, great follow-up by the Stukov here and completely blown up by the Li Ming. ETC, as I was saying, is a very, very low health pool tank. As I was saying, like a weak, I'm not saying a weak tank as in like what he does, just overall health pool. It's rough. And now Tio's down here. They want to prio bottom here, which makes sense. And here comes Mule. It's not going to do anything, but the thought counts, right? And Diablo's just going to reap its soul, send it back over to where it belongs. And now they're going to take bottom. And again, this is scary because now when you hold bottom like this on Towers of Doom, which you do see in a lot of higher elo games, holding bottom is basically how you win games. They do scout out the Diablo here, and the combos are all up. They need to fight this here. Clone is probably going to come out. This is going to be our most likely our first comp here, but ETC is potentially going to get root silence. No, it's down. Now this is what you're looking for here, right? This is exactly what you're looking for. They do get a 7-sided strike, but here comes an APOC and here comes a sanctification, but here comes ETC powers or Mosh here. But this is what I'm talking about with Abathur's Cassie here. Can it do enough? No, it's really not doing anything. It's just poking the back line, but is it enough here? The Valimor is caught, and that's the power of the fall stack gusting away. But no, they do catch it. Karazim is there, but they completely get a follow-up kill by the Li Ming. Can they get anything else? Great follow-ups. ETC is going in for a power slide. Can Cassie do anything here with the Abathur hat? No, I don't think they can. I think ETC just killed himself because he went too far deep, and they might end up killing themselves back here. Li Ming and Stukov have their ults here, and here comes a reset, and Karazim is going in, trying to kill himself, but he knows they don't care about the Karazim because they know Karazim can get out with an Abathur hat, and Cassia is going to fall here. Should fall, and does. Karazim, like I said, they gave up on the Karazim. You don't really need to go after him because Cassia has no mobility. Great stuff. Good follow-up on the side of WildHeart Omega here. You're looking really good. This is exactly what you want to see. This is how dominating their team is, right? They are playing their comp. They are playing how you should be playing this comp, right? You're getting follow-up, you're following the chain CC, and everyone's pushing their buttons at the right time. And I know that sounds pretty dumbed down, but you'd be surprised, right? A lot of teams struggle to, in order, use their abilities correctly, and just these three down below, they can kill anyone. You get a nice APOC combo, you get a nice root silence, and then Li Ming just completely clear houses the entire team, right? And now it's 15-16, and they do sniff out the Diablo here, and they're gonna take that. They're gonna take the side of Kryix Tempest's sappers here, and they're gonna push it in, right? This is what I'm talking about. When you control bottom, just like Dragon Shower, you have all the Merc value down bottom because of the fact that both sides have it. If you take both sides, well, you get 2 opportunities to chat 1 to 3 sappers going in. Can they catch anybody here? Can they at least get one? Because again, if you have to step up here to a 16 fight, it might be scary. They're going to clear out the lane here. Diablo's going to step up, potentially going to try looking for a grab, but Stukov is going to silence where they have to step up. And can they do it? They should be able to kill one, but can they kill all of them? They're going to gust it in, and they're going to get 3 in. Look at that. They used it well. They got 3 shots in. You now have three opportunities. Now, Ken on the side of Kryix Tempest, can you stop them? Can you stop both of them? I don't think so. ETC is going to be the follow target, and here comes a Li Ming combo here, and ETC does get out, but is low, and it's going to be forced out of the fight here. Cassia, or the Abathur did the Hawk here, misses the tongue here, gets forced out of the objective, but I don't think it's enough. I think they're going to be looking. They're going to dig top to negate this. Now, can they hold on down here? Can they do it? Now, Cassia was a target here, but was completely pushed back, and Stukov was looking for the silencer, but it completely obliterated ETC by apparitions here. Great stuff. Frosty Wind doesn't care and gets sanctification because this should be GG. Look at Valimar using Tyrael, and that's how you're supposed to do it. GG, 2-0 dominating victory for WildHeart.